Om Namo Narayana. We're starting a new part to the book today. It is simply called About Courtesans. This first chapter is titled Of the Causes of a Courtesan Resorting to Men, of the Means of Attaching to Herself the Man Desired, and of the kind of man that it is desirable to be acquainted with. I want to clarify that the definition of courtesan in the time I make this video of 2022 and the definition of courtesan at the time this book was written hundreds of years ago might be completely different. Today, I think of courtesan, more like a streetwalker or a prostitute or someone like that. That's probably a hugely inaccurate description of what a courtesan was like back in the day. So here we go. Let's dive in. Just keep in mind that this might be really interesting, really strange, or really, I don't know, something. I really don't know. But the whole chapter is about courtesans, so we will be experts by the time we're done. By having intercourse with men, courtesans obtain sexual pleasure, as well as their own maintenance. Now, when a courtesan takes up with a man from love, the action is natural, but when she resorts to him for the purpose of getting money, her action is artificial or forced. Even in the later case, however, she should conduct herself as if her love were indeed natural, because men repose their confidence on those women who apparently love them. In making known her love to the man, she should show an entire freedom from avarice, and for the sake of her future credit, she should abstain from acquiring money from him by unlawful means. A courtesan, well dressed and wearing her ornaments, should sit or stand at the door of her house, and without exposing herself too much, should look on the public road so as to be seen by the passers-by, she being like an object on view for sale. She should form friendships with such persons as would enable her to separate men from other women and attach them to herself, to repair her own misfortunes, to acquire wealth, and to protect her from being bullied or set upon by persons with whom she may have dealings of some kind or other. These persons are the guards of the town or the police, the officers of the courts of justice, astrologers, powerful men with interest, learned men, teachers of the 64 arts, mardas or confidants, vitas or parasites, vidushakas or jesters, flower sellers, perfumers, vendors of spirits, washermen, barbers, beggars, and such other persons as may be found necessary for the particular object to be acquired. The following kinds of men may be taken up with simply for the purpose of getting their money. Men of independent income, young men, men who are free from any ties, men who hold places of authority under the king, men who have secured their means of livelihood without difficulty, men possessed of unfailing sources of income, men who consider themselves handsome, men who are always praising themselves, one who is a eunuch but wishes to be thought a man, one who hates his equals, one who is naturally liberal, one who has influence with the king or his ministers, one who is always fortunate, one who is proud of his wealth, one who disobeys the orders of his elders, one upon whom the members of his caste keep an eye, an only son whose father is wealthy, an ascetic who is eternally troubled with desire, a brave man, a physician of the king, previous acquaintances. On the other hand, those who are possessed of excellent qualities are to be resorted to for the sake of love and fame. Such men are as follows: men of high birth, learned, with a good knowledge of the world, and doing the proper things at the proper times, poets, good storytellers, eloquent men, energetic men, skilled in various arts, foreseeing into the future, possessed of great minds, full of perseverance, of a firm devotion, free from anger, liberal, affectionate to their parents, and with a liking for all social gatherings, skilled in completing verses begun by others, and in various other sports, free from all disease, possessed of a perfect body, strong, and not addicted to drinking, powerful in social enjoyment, sociable, showing love towards women, and attracting their hearts to himself, but not entirely devoted to them, possessed of independent means of livelihood, free from envy, and last of all, free from suspicion. Such are the good qualities of a man. The woman also should have the following: characteristics. She should be possessed of beauty and amiability with auspicious body marks. She should have a liking for good qualities in other people, as also a liking for wealth. She should take delight in sexual unions resulting from love, and should be of a firm mind and of the same class as the man with regard to sexual enjoyment. She should always be anxious to acquire and obtain experience and knowledge, be free from avarice, and always have a liking for social gatherings and for the arts. The following are the ordinary qualities of all women: to be possessed of intelligence, good disposition, and good manners, to be straightforward in behavior, and to be grateful, to consider well the future before doing anything, to possess activity, to be of consistent behavior, and to have a knowledge of the proper times and places for doing things, to speak always without meanness, loud laughter, malignity, anger, avarice, dullness, or stupidity, to have a knowledge of the Kama Sutra, and to be skilled in all the arts connected with it. The faults of women are to be known by the absence of any of the above-mentioned good qualities. Thus we pause this chapter. I found this very interesting. The men are listed with all these things. The second one I listed was they're learned. And then you have good knowledge of the world. And then they're creative, they're artists, they're storytellers, they're far-seeing, they have all this thing. But the women, they're to be intelligent, but you notice the focus was not on their intelligence. The focus was on them being well-behaved. They're supposed to be straightforward in their behavior. They're to be grateful, so kind of passive. To consider well before they do anything, so they don't rush into anything, and do something stupid. They have to be consistent in their behavior. They have to know when to do things. They have to speak humbly, without meanness. They're not supposed to have any loud laughter. They're just supposed to be nice and dull. Actually, it says right here, to speak always with avarice, dullness, or stupidity. So they're literally supposed to act, oh, I don't know. What was really interesting is the men are supposed to know of the world and they're supposed to do all this stuff, but the women just have to have knowledge of the Kama Sutra. So basically, women are timid, dumb sex objects. I understand this is of the context, and it's just disheartening to me thinking that women lived like this for so long. It's a reminder of what women have been in. And how far they've come in a lot of places in the world.